Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have some Call of Duty World at War custom zombies in this week's episode of Dear Nero, which of course is the weekly series here on my channel, where subscribers send me fan mail and or fan questions, and I do as to answer them. To cover on the gameplay today, I wanted to play zombies today, but then I'm like, wait a minute, Christmas is in a couple of days, let's go download a bunch of zombies maps for Call of Duty World at War, because of course there's a bunch of modded zombies maps that are put together by the community, and they're free to download and free to play if you have World at War on the PC, and I figured, hey, let's download a bunch of them. This is the first one I tried. It was actually called Pie Man's Christmas Map. If you guys like to download it and try it out for yourselves, there's going to be a link to it down there in the video description. But I love this map so much, I ended up playing it for about an hour, and therefore I didn't even get to any of the other Christmas maps. So all the gameplay for this week's episode is going to be of this one map, but since I played it for like an hour, I'm going to be cropping it up to make it fit within this video, which is actually going to be a bit shorter than your typical episode of Dear Nero, just because it's the holiday season, and I think we're all kind of busy right now. Like, I know myself, I spent like all yesterday Christmas shopping, which is why I didn't actually have a video out yesterday, which is why I didn't make a video of the new update that came to Black Ops 3, because I was out, I was gone, I was AFK, and I love how Treyarch never does anything unless I'm AFK. It's insane. Like, no patches, no news, nothing will happen unless I'm like not there to make a video of it, it seems like. But yeah, so they had that update come out, and I could have made a video about it today, which it wasn't a big update. They didn't change around that many things. They changed around like Flak Jacket, and they changed around a couple of the guns, but they didn't change them around like severely. They changed around like the stability of them and stuff. But then they end up changing around the game settings again, and they haven't given us any information as to what this other update was about. So I'm interested to see what this new update's about, and yeah, I'll probably make a video of both those updates together into one video when I can. But like I said, I was out Christmas shopping all yesterday, and then tonight I need to do some more. Just, we're all busy people. We're all busy people, I suppose. It's the holiday season. Christmas is in 2 days, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. We actually have some really cool holiday themed questions for this week's episode, which is pretty nice. But yeah, hopefully you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy the gameplay. And just kind of start the video out by saying, I love this field of view. Look at this field of view right here. This is a crispy 90 FOV, which if you play on the PC, like, people are used to changing around your FOV and whatnot, but just every time I play custom zombies, I get frustrated at the fact that consoles don't have FOV sliders. Like, any FPS game in general looks amazing if you can change around the field of view. Like, you change up to something high, like an 85 to a 90. Some people even like it all the way up at 120. For me, that just seems silly. But having your FOV up just makes the guns look cool, makes the maps look cool, makes it feel like you're moving faster than you really are. Just, I love FOV sliders, and I can't wait to get them on consoles. Just maybe one day, maybe with the next series of consoles or something, we'll get FOV sliders, but I just can't wait for that. And I know I talk about that every single time I play custom zombies here on the channel, but ah, man, it just looks so good. It just looks so good. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's hop into the questions here, of which there are some pretty good ones. And the first one, he is going to write, Dear Nero, since Christmas is in 2 days when you are recording this week's Dear Nero, I was wondering, what was your favorite Christmas present you've gotten growing up as a kid? For myself, at age 9, I remember I was so happy when I finally got this huge Transformer toy that I always wanted, and it was a Devastator, which is 6 Transformers into one giant Transformer. Ghost619 from California. So first and foremost, Merry Christmas to you, Mr. Ghost619 from California. This is, of course, the same Ghost619 that was featured a number of times on DNA Saturday and Chemstrike Saturday, and he's off to a very successful YouTube channel. It's just passed 15,000 subscribers, on its way to 16,000, and just look what happens, guys. Look what happens if you actually pay attention to your YouTube channel, if you actually work hard every single day to make your YouTube channel the best channel they can actually be, right? There's so many people that would feature like DNA Saturday last year, like, hey, here's a guy that doesn't commentate any of his videos and uploads twice a month. Like, those people, like, they're never going to grow on YouTube, whereas Ghost619 here, he worked hard at it. Here he is, 15,000 plus subscribers, on his way to 16,000. Couldn't be more proud, man. Congrats to you. Well deserved. But what was my favorite Christmas present growing up? I think I've answered this question several years ago with a different episode of Dear Nero, but my favorite Christmas present, I think, of all time, there's actually kind of a sad story to go along with it, was probably my PlayStation 2. But the sad part about me getting a PlayStation 2 way back when was we all had the flu that year, and I didn't even get the time to enjoy it, right? So we all got sick. My brother, like several days before Christmas, like one of the last days, I think, that we had before you go on Christmas break when you're in school, because my brother's like 5 years younger than me. So he was in like elementary school. I was probably in maybe middle school or something like that. And so he comes home one day. He's not feeling very well, and he ends up turns out he has the flu. Turns out he gave the flu to all of us, and it was so horrible that we basically missed Christmas that year. Like we woke up, you know, we all exchanged gifts and whatnot. We did the whole Christmas present opening thing on Christmas morning, but none of us really cared that much. Like I'm pretty sure my dad just fell asleep while we were opening up our presents and whatnot. My mom was just basically feeling like death, and and we weren't feeling very great either. Like, we got the PlayStation 2, which, you know, of course, you share consoles and stuff like that, especially when you're younger. So we got the PlayStation 2. We got some games go along with it. We got a bunch of other stuff for Christmas, things that we're into, like probably Pokemon stuff, and at the time, wrestling stuff, and just whatever. It was a good Christmas, but we were all so sick that we really didn't care. Like, we all, like, I remember taking the PlayStation 2. I didn't even, like, take it out of the box, I don't think. I put it upstairs next to our TV, because my brother and I shared a room growing up, and I think we both just went back to bed. And I'm pretty sure my dad stayed sleeping downstairs. I think my mom just fell asleep in the chair. Like, we were all so sick. Like, we have this Christmas tradition every year. We go out to my grandmother's house on Christmas Day. Like, we do the whole gift exchange, like, Christmas morning thing in the mornings, and then we go out to my grandmother's house, and, you know, all my aunts and uncles and just the entire immediate family pretty much shows up there. We have a nice little get together. We missed that. Like, we didn't go to that. Like, we were all just so, like, deathly sick with the flu, and it wasn't like a vomity flu or anything like that. It was the kind of flu where, like, you're just so exhausted all the time. Like, you ever had the flu where your entire body just aches and it hurts to just exist within this world? Like, it's horrible to even, like, move. I remember specifically, like, my mom brought me up, I think it was like Sprite or something. Like, Sprite is supposed to be good for you if you're not feeling very well, like Sprite and like chicken soup. She brought like a Sprite up to my room, and she set it on like this desk next to my bed. I remember just trying to lift up that can of Sprite was just like the hardest thing in the world for me, because I was so weak. We were all just so sick, and it was on Christmas, but at the same time, that was my favorite Christmas gift because it was a PlayStation 2. I got Medal of Honor. I got some football games. I got some, at the time, we were very, you know, we were younger and growing up and whatnot, so like at the time, we were playing like a lot of Nickelodeon-based games. Like, I think we had like a Rocket Power game for the PlayStation 2 back then. Like, we just got so many cool games. We got this PlayStation 2 that we wanted forever. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, and so it was definitely awesome whenever you got something like that. So it was great we got the PlayStation 2. It's by far my favorite gift I think I've ever gotten for Christmas. But again, that Christmas we all had the flu, so I had to wait like a week or so before we could really enjoy our Christmas presents. So that's my favorite Christmas gift. Let me know in the comments. Can we all just share this? What is the best gift you guys have ever gotten for Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or wherever it is you celebrate? What is the best gift you guys have gotten for the holiday season? I would love to hear about that in the comment section below. Again, for me personally, it was the PlayStation 2. Next question. He is going to write, Dear Nero. So if I'm correct, your next Dear Nero will be out Wednesday the 23rd, which is also my birthday. I hope it comes out then. It would be a neat little present if I were to be featured in the episode. But anyways, with Christmas just a few days away, what are your holiday plans and what's on the top of your Christmas list this year? Happy holidays, Nick from Georgia. So Nick, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mustang. Let me know. Nick, if you're like in the comments of this video, I would love to know, what's it like, or anyone else out there that maybe has the same situation, what is it like to have a birthday so close to Christmas? Do people just double up on that? Like, do you get screwed out of extra presents? Like, do people give you one gift and like, hey, that's your birthday and Christmas present? Like, you jerk, I should get two presents like everybody else does. You know, is that how that works for you? Like, I've always heard that having a birthday near Christmas or even on Christmas is just the worst, but maybe that's just like an urban legend or something like that. I don't know. I've always heard that, but that's mainly from just other people and whatnot in school and television and stuff like that growing up. I never knew if it was true, so let me know, is it true? Do you kind of get screwed on presents? I would love to know about that. But what are my holiday plans? So I've done a lot of shopping so far. Yesterday I spent basically the whole day shopping. I'm going shopping after we're done recording, editing, and uploading this video tonight. And so that's basically that. Tomorrow I think I'm going to go up to my mom's house. I think I may actually end up staying at my mom's house tomorrow because they like to do this whole Christmas thing. They like to do, like, maybe we'll watch a movie or something up there. I don't know. But I think she would like me to go home for Christmas. So I think I'm going to head up there maybe and stay up there tomorrow at night, and then of course we'll wake up there on Christmas morning, probably do a gift exchange or something like that. My grandparents typically come over and visit on Christmas morning, and then we have to go out to my dad's house, which is going to be like visiting that side of the family. Then we get to go to my other grandparents' house. Like, basically it's going to be like a bunch of traveling for me, seeing a bunch of people, and that's really what I'm going to be doing, I suppose, for the holidays. What is the top of my Christmas list this year? You know, it's really hard. If people ask me, like, you know, what do you want for Christmas? I'm always like, well, I don't know. I'm an adult, and I have a job, and I have a steady income, and when I want something, I buy it, you know, most of the time. And so there's not really a lot of things out there where I'm like, wow, I really want that thing, because if I really want that thing, I either start saving up for it myself or I buy it. You know, that's really kind of how it works. Like, I have this new microphone. How do you tell somebody that doesn't know microphones that you want a new microphone? Like, how does that work? I had to go get it myself, you know? How do you tell somebody you want a specific monitor or a specific keyboard or anything like that, you know? So it's kind of hard to find out exactly what it is things you want for Christmas, you know. But I usually get surprised because I do still do like a gift exchange idea with my dad's and people on his side of the family, and of course my mom and her side of the family. Like, we're doing a whole Secret Santa thing, which is why I have to go shopping for later on tonight. Actually, my little nephew, well, he's kind of my nephew. He's my cousin's son, but my cousin Nick and I have always kind of been like brothers, really. So I always just kind of considered his son to be my nephew. But I have him for the Secret Santa, so I have to go get him something tonight. And but what do you get for somebody who's 24 years old and just basically buys what he wants to get? I usually get surprised. Usually it's really some really adult themed stuff, which sounds horrible. It's usually adult stuff that you don't expect to get. Like, it's not gaming stuff. It's like, I got new headlights for my car a couple years back, which was like by far like my favorite gift that year. I was like, I needed these. I never want to purchase them myself because I'm irresponsible. Like, my old headlights were awful. I got new headlights. That was awesome. Like, little things like that I think is fantastic. And so I'm probably gonna end up getting some stuff like that, like more just like stuff for my vehicle or stuff for the house or things like that. But once you get older, it really kind of stinks. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there who are like, yeah, I want an Xbox One for Christmas, or oh boy, I would love a bunch of these games for Christmas, or this, that, and the other. And it's like, well, I don't have that. I guess at the same time, it's kind of a blessing because I already have those things, but I don't know. It's just a weird situation once you start getting older and older and older. Eventually, Christmas is more about giving than it is receiving, and I think I've crossed that threshold here over the past couple of years. Next question, he is going to write, Dear Nero, I hear YouTubers talking a lot about rendering their videos all the time. What is rendering and what difference does it make to the video? Keep up the great work. Harry from England. So I wanted to feature this question and answer it really quickly, just because this is one I get a lot, and maybe it'll help people understand how YouTube works a little bit more. Because like, I'm always tweeting out on Twitter like, hey, I'm rendering out this week's Dear Nero now, and like, people don't like, what does he mean by rendering? What does that mean? Does that mean uploading? Is that a fancy term for uploading? Like, what does that mean? So when you render a video, it's when you take something in your editing software. Like, I use Sony Vegas to edit all my videos, and when you put together a video in Sony Vegas, it's not just magically done. You have to actually put all the things together. You have to take the video portion, which is like the gameplay, and then you have to put your commentary, and you have to edit that all together, and you have to put in your intro and any special effects. Like, if I put like your guys' questions on the screen, like, I have to manually put those in there and whatnot. And basically, I do all the editing and whatnot to my videos. Then once you're done with that, you have to actually make that a whole video. You can't just take a Vegas project like that and upload that directly to YouTube. You can't just do that. You have to actually render out your project into a video, and that's kind of like the rendering process. Your computer takes all your stuff that you have in your project and puts them all together to make a video. And then you take that video, then you upload it to YouTube, and yeah, that's how it works. So what is rendering? What difference does it make? Well, I mean, there wouldn't be a video if you never rendered anything. Like, literally, the only time you can make a video for YouTube that didn't involve rendering would be like if you recorded something like with your phone and just direct upload it from your library to YouTube. Like, there's no rendering involved with that. But everything else, rendering is basically taking a bunch of stuff and an editing software that's like in an editing project, and then making it an actual video, and then taking that video and uploading it. So that's what rendering is. It happens for every single one of my videos, and sadly it takes a super long time because I have a GTX 980 now, which is a very nice graphics card. I love it. I can run every game super well here on my PC. What I don't love about it is, for whatever reason, the newer GTX cards, they don't read with Sony Vegas, and so therefore I can't use the CUDA cores, which this thing has a ton of CUDA cores. I can't use those to render my videos faster, so my renders take an absurd amount of time, and I hate it, guys. I just despise it. Next question, he is going to write, Dear Nero, as confirmed a short while ago, Black Ops 3 for last gen will not be holding any DLC offerings. Thus, my questions, do you think that this will be the final Call of Duty to be produced for last gen, and what do you think it spells in general for last gen? Have a very Merry Christmas, Lord of Dragons, Draconian. So Draconian, that's a two-parter, and I'm going to answer both parts of it. What do I think is going to happen to last gen, especially for the Call of Duty thing? I do feel as though that, yes, Call of Duty is going to be done on last gen after this year. I think I've said that before. I feel as though Black Ops 3 is definitely going to be the final Call of Duty game to come out for the Xbox 360 and for the PlayStation 3. They've held back so many features. Like, I don't even know how bad it runs, but I've heard it runs pretty terribly on the old systems, and just they've taken away so many features. There's no DLC. Like, there's a wide variety of features that aren't even there, and that's just because they can't make it all work on that old hardware. They just can't. They can't continue to advance the series and advance their games while still being limited by that hardware. hardware. They're having a hard time finding like a balance for that. And as a result, just with all the things that they've stripped away for the last gen versions, I can't see a world where Infinity Ward's gonna be like, hey man, we got this. We're gonna give you guys all the stuff and more on your Xbox 360s, on your PlayStation 3s, especially because the holiday season is here. I think there's gonna be a lot of people that are going to be making the transition. It has been over 2 years since the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 have released, so probably a lot of people have already made the transition, and probably even more people are going to be making the transition within the coming week or so, because it is going to be the holiday season, especially with Black Friday happened last month. It's just, I feel as though the majority of people that are actually interested in gaming are probably going to be making that transition. Of course, there's always going to be those outliers who have not made the transition yet, and of course they're definitely going to be in the minority, I feel like. But what does this spell for last gen in general? It's coming to a close, guys. It really is. Like, Call of Duty is not the only game that is just not really putting out any content for the last gen systems. You know, it just, that's the very nature of it. Eventually, game developers are just going to stop developing their stuff for those systems. A console transition does happen, but it does take a very long time. But at the end of the day, guys, like clockwork, it is going to happen. It is going to change. You know, people aren't still making games for the PS2 and the original Xbox. You know, they've moved on. And the same thing is going to happen with the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, which is sad because it's the end of an era. I still think that those are probably some of the most revolutionary consoles to come out in terms of console gaming anyway. Like, those things were just fantastic. Like, I feel as though like the jump from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3 and the jump from the original Xbox to the Xbox 360 was a much bigger leap than what we saw going from the 360 to the Xbox One into the PS3 to the PS4. Like, they were revolutionary. They were great. There were so many great games. I have days upon days upon days. Heck, probably combined, I probably have like a year's worth of playtime probably on my Xbox 360 if I had to add up every single game I've ever played on that console all together. You know, like, I spent a lot of time there and I had a lot of great memories and I had a lot of fun. But eventually you are gonna have to move on, because that is old hardware. You know, people moved on from VHS tapes. It's gonna happen eventually. People are gonna move on from that, and eventually people are gonna move on from DVDs. Eventually they're gonna start all going Blu-ray, but maybe not, because Blu-ray's like been around for ages and everyone thought it was gonna overtake DVDs, but never actually has. You know, it's kind of a weird situation there, but you get what I'm saying. Like, eventually people advance. Like, people aren't still using cassette tapes. They're using CDs, and a lot of people aren't using CDs anymore. They're using everything digitally now, and just eventually these transitions are going to happen. And it is sad, but, you know, you got to keep up with the times, I suppose. With the next and final question for this week's episode of Dear Nero, he is going to write Dear Nero, with the implementation of skill-based matchmaking in Black Ops 3 and the high possibility, lol, of the developers adding in weapon variants, me and my friends are considering quitting Black Ops 3. We are still trying to find a game to fall back to if Black Ops 3 becomes too much like Advanced Warfare. What are your thoughts on having to move to another game until the next quote-unquote good Call of Duty comes out, and what do you reckon will the majority of the community do if Black Ops 3 becomes Advanced Warfare? Also, will you personally keep on playing Black Ops 3 or find other alternatives? Pat from Australia. So Pat, I think you and your friends need to seriously relax back on this. Like, there's so many people out there. It's not just you, so I'm not like directly like trying to attack you or anything, but there's just a lot of people out there that just have this in their head that Treyarch is somehow evil, that Call of Duty is evil, and if they don't think Call of Duty is evil, then they think Activision, like the higher ups, are the evil people that are going to corrupt Treyarch, and they're going to corrupt Vonderhaar and just make it so they do all these evil things with their game. Right now, there is absolutely no proof, no reason, or just any evidence whatsoever to support the idea that they're going to start adding in exclusive weapons to supply drops in Black Ops 3. Now, people have been continuing to post up this saying that Activision posted in their Q&A saying right now, currently, there are no weapons going to be available, but they said currently, therefore that leaves the door open. Yeah, that's what you do in business. You always leave the door open. You never know. They could take that and interpret it as, by making it so no weapons are available via supply drops, that could be interpreted to say that you can't have the wrench, and you can't have the butterfly knife, and you can't have the brass knuckles. Like, that just doesn't make sense, right? So they put that language in there specifically to make sure they can have all their bases covered, and if they want to add in like reskins and stuff like that, that they have the ability to do so. Right now, there's no reason to believe that they're going to end up doing that, but I will play devil's advocate, and let's say, for example, they start to bring back some old school weapons into Black Ops 3 as DLC weapons that you can only get via supply drops, right? So let's say they were to bring back the good old MSMC, the PW57. Let's say they were to bring back the Ballista. Maybe they're bring back the TSR-50 pre-nerfed even. Yeah, what if they were to bring back maybe the FAMAS from Black Ops 1, or maybe the Thompson from World at War. Like, they bring back all these weapons, but instead of just putting them in the game or giving us like the ability to purchase them for like $1.99 or whatever, they put them in supply drops, and the only way to get them is from supply drops. If that were to happen, I would be against it, because I don't like holding out that exclusive content to people. Like, there's gonna be a lot of people out there that really want to have these guns, and then you like get into this weird situation where how good can those guns really be? Because if there's a complete RNG chance of actually acquiring these guns, then you have the same problem that you had with Advanced Warfare, where it's like, well, this guy has a gun that's probably better than mine, and I have no way of acquiring that because it's complete RNG from COD points or just from supply drops in general, which you can get, of course, with crypto keys, but it's just RNG and there's no real guarantee of you getting that weapon. I don't think anybody would like that system. If they were to add in weapons, it should all just be reskins. Like, if they were to add in, for example, if they were to add in, I'm trying to think of a gun that would make sense. Like, if they were add in an MP5 skin for the Kuda, like, let's say they were to add in like a straight up like old school COD 4 MP5 looking gun, or maybe was MP5 in Modern Warfare 3? I think it was. But if they were to bring back the MP5 as a reskin, complete reskin of the Kuda, that would be okay in my book. But if they were to add in actual weapons, I don't think I would like that. Would I continue to play it? Sure, I would. I would continue to play Black Ops 3 because I think it's a good game. And ultimately, in a game where you die in milliseconds and connection is such a big deal and all this, that, and the other, I don't really care too much what my opponent is actually going to be using. In Black Ops 3, I haven't, died to a certain weapon a bunch of times. Like, oh god, that weapon, oh no. Like I did back in Advanced Warfare. I don't care as much in Black Ops 3. I'm definitely looking at Black Ops 3 with a much more relaxed approach, and I'm enjoying the game a lot more as a result. So if they were to add it, I would be against it for sure. I don't want them to add in exclusive weapons to the supply drops that aren't just reskins. But if they were just to add in reskins like they did with the combat knife and making it so you can have a wrench instead, that's fine. If they were to do the same thing with the Kuda and make it so it looks like an MP5 instead, sure, that's fine to me. I don't care about that. But adding in exclusive weapons, I don't think that'd be a very good thing. But again, ladies and gentlemen, just to reiterate this one more time, there's no reason to believe right now, there's absolutely no evidence to support that they would ever actually do that. Just everybody has it in their heads that they're going to do that because they, maybe rightfully so, they always think the worst of game developers. And Treyarch really hasn't done anything ever to make us think less of them and to make us think that they would do something like this. So guys, just sit back, give Treyarch the benefit of the doubt, right? Give Treyarch the benefit of the doubt. If it actually ever happens, then freak out. Sure, go ham, go crazy. I don't care if it actually were to happen. But if it doesn't happen, like, everyone's freaking out over stuff that doesn't even exist. So I don't know. I'll just tell you guys, just relax. Just chill out, and I think you'll be just fine, because Treyarch is the best quality developer out there. They're the best in the business. They are the best at what they do, and I have full faith in them because Black Ops 3 has been a pretty amazing game thus far. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude this week's episode of Dear Nero. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and if you did, drop me a rating wherever you guys feel deserves. If you guys would like to submit your questions for the next episode of Dear Nero, simply send me a personal message here on YouTube. I hope you guys all have a safe and Merry Christmas. Have a safe and happy holiday season. See some loved ones, eat some food, get some gifts, and just enjoy your time off of school, work, or wherever it is you're up to, because it's definitely one of the better times of the year. Although it's an odd time of the year in terms of the weather, it's definitely pretty odd, because I live in northwest Pennsylvania, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys know that. And usually up here, we get lake effect snow, like coming off of Lake Erie. Like, we usually get some pretty bad winters as a result of that. Not happening this year, man. Not happening this year. I was outside today. It feels like spring. You know that feeling of spring? Like, that's what I felt today. Like you go outside and you just like breathe in the air, and it's like got that crispness to it. Like, it just smells like spring, feels like spring. Like, that's what it felt like today. And I'm like, is it really 2 days until Christmas? Like, it's kind of odd how warm this winter has been. We've only got a little bit of snow, and then it quickly melted within a couple of days or something like that, which is odd for this region of the United States, I suppose, because, again, because of Lake Erie, we typically get some pretty bad winters, but not so much this year. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, have a safe and happy holiday. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Drop me a rating, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.